about binge drinkers in the United States, you probably think about people that are in fraternities or college students. But the CDC just released a pretty shocking study that shows that the demographic that is most likely to binge drink is not the demographic that you're thinking of. So let's just quickly look at the numbers. American binge drinkers are dying at a rate of about 6 alcohol poisoning deaths per day. Now look at that graph right there. 76% of them are men, 24% of them are women, and if you look at the age group, it's usually middle-aged men. So it's not actually college students who are doing the majority of the binge drinking. I'm also surprised at the 5% number, 15 to 24-year-olds who are binge drinking. That probably shouldn't be happening. Let's go to the next graphic. All right, so if you break it down by ethnicity, you will find that white non-Hispanic individuals are more likely to binge drink. Coming in at number 2 is Hispanics, number 3, blacks, non-Hispanics, American Indians, Alaska Natives are 7%, and then also Asians are at the very bottom of this list at 2%. So I was actually really surprised by this. I think it's because of some of the stereotyping you see in the mainstream press. I think it has to do with, you know, just your own experiences. I don't know very many middle-aged white people that are binge drinking. The majority of people that I know who binge drink are in my age group or younger. But I like that the CDC did this study because it really does start to break some of the stereotypes or break some of the myths that you might have heard of binge drinking. So what do you guys think about this story? Kim, make your point.
I think it takes it to a far more depressing point than I thought it would be because, you know, with kids when they're binge drinking, usually it's like, party time, let's party all and have such an awesome time. But with an adult,
that's exactly what they sound like.
Oh, I'm so fucking depressed. I hate my life,
yes.
You know? And it just like, oh no, this sounds much darker.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point. I wonder how much the economic collapse in 2008 contributed to binge drinking among middle-aged people. Right? How many people got laid off, lost their jobs, and it's like an escape for them. Also, it's kind of amazing that all these people are dying from alcohol poisoning every year. How many people die from marijuana poisoning or marijuana overdose? But it's still a Schedule 1 drug in the United States.
Let's pull up the stats.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait.
Well, and to be clear, though, I think the study really is saying, though, that these people are the binge drinkers who die from binge drinking, not necessarily those who overall participate in binge drinking, right? Is that correct? So, my theory, though, is that like there's just as many people binge drinking who are my age, our age, or younger, but they don't die because they're just so much younger. And then it's just by the time you get to be in your middle ages, you know, it's like you're more susceptible to like the long-term effects of binge drinking, and therefore also like maybe a night of crazy, binge drinking. But I think that's my point. There we go.
That's a good point. Just to give you some more stats on this study, more than 38 million people report having an average of 8 drinks during one night of binge drinking. That's a lot of people, and 8 drinks is a lot to have in one night. And also, most of the 1.5 million yearly binge drinkers are people over the age of 26. Right. So that's just to give you a whole picture of what's happening with our drinking habits here in the U.S. By the way, like now that I'm 28, I can't handle binge drinking. I will suffer for a week following that whole episode.
Yeah.
All right, here's the question. Share your worst drunk story. Simple enough. Kim.
Okay, so I went out on a date with this guy who I really liked from my work, not here, an older place. And he took me out, and like I was so excited because I had such a crush on him. And he was like, "Hey, why don't you try these margaritas? They're famous here." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And he said, "Come on." And I said, "Okay." And I drank one, and I liked it, and I had another one. I only had 2. But I drank them really fast, I guess, and I was super drunk, walking all over the place, falling. He drove me home. I threw up on his car.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, super classy.
Nice.
He still asked me out again later,
That's
so
good.
it wasn't that bad, but it was so mortifying.
Oh, it's awesome that he didn't judge you for it.
Yeah.
Did it work out, though?
I'm guessing it didn't work out, so we'll just leave it right there. We'll leave it right there. Andy, tell me about your worst drinking story.
Okay, so I think my 21st birthday, I was up in a lake house in Michigan. Never go to a lake house in Michigan. And I was up there with a bunch of my friends, and their dog had passed away that day. And it was just this really weird thing where it was my birthday, but the dog died. So I think we had been like drinking the whole day, like in honor of the dog. And at like 7:30 p.m., we were like, you know what? We need to kick this up a notch. We need to do this for Gracie. That was the name of the dog. It was super sad. But they pulled out like an entire fifth of Jose Cuervo Gold. And between the three of us, we finished it in like 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
I was already drunk. And it went to, I mean, I remember it was sort of having this like Hunter S. Thompson, you know, style night of like ups and downs and coming to, but only really being able to hear like my friends talking. I was laying on the ground in front of the house near the lake, and I could just hear like very faintly like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna pee on Andy.
No.
And I was like, I couldn't see anything, but I could hear, and like somehow
No.
in my fractured state, I put together these things that were going to happen, and with all my might got up and like was able to like fumbly like move my way through the mass of urine that was descending upon my being.
Someone was gonna pee on you?
Yeah, I think that guy's in jail now.
I don't think that guy was really that drunk. I think that guy has a
So-
fetish and he was living it out.
I will tell you this, I have never drank tequila since then, and I'm 26 now, and I will never
tequila
drink.
stories,
I know,
Andy.
tequila.
I don't drink tequila
It's the devil's
either.
poison.
Crazy things to you.
Yeah.
All right, so my worst drunk story was actually, I was a full-grown adult, picture the year, 2010. I had just gotten my master's degree, and my parents decided to throw a big graduation celebration for me. And so we were at this Russian/Armenian restaurant, and I had invited my boss, Cenk Uygur, and his wife. So my entire family's there, and then my boss is there, and I was so happy that I was done with school and that I was in a good place in my life that I just wanted to drink and celebrate and not really hold back from anything. So every time someone showed up, I would take a shot with them. And before I know it, I've taken so many shots I can't even count. And then in between shots, I'm drinking red wine. And it's
No.
a disastrous
No.
combination. And so finally it hits me and I'm starting to feel sick. And I look over to one of my friends and I tell her that I'm probably going to need to throw up soon. And so she grabs my hair. You know, my hair's like long and flowy and I'm probably gonna get, you know, throw up all over it, grabs my hair, and we start running toward the bathroom, and I'm having a really hard time holding it down, but I don't want to throw up in the middle of the restaurant, right?
Oh my God.
So then finally, I open the door, right, hoping that it's just a one-stall bathroom, right? But no, there's this poor woman standing by the sink, like washing her hands, and at that point, I couldn't hold it anymore, and projectile vomit all over this poor woman.
Yes.
And it was
No.
disastrous. It was so bad. I don't know what happened to her.
That happened in Bridesmaids.
She was
Yeah.
she was horrified. And then finally I went into the stall with my friend and then I continued throwing up and like I had my like one of my false eyelashes had fallen out. I was a mess.
You're like crying.
I was so bad.
The
I was
woman's crying.
Like
Your friend's laughing.
My boss is there. He knows that I'm like irresponsibly drunk. It was disaster. It was so bad. It was so bad. So that's probably my worst drunk story. I don't think I'll ever be able to beat that. But I think that taught me a valuable lesson. I haven't really, I was about to say I haven't thrown up from alcohol since then, but I have several times. But I haven't been as embarrassed. So how about that? Anyway, what is your worst drunk story? Let us know. Was it as bad as mine? Is it a little more tame? And also, what do you think about these statistics? Did they surprise you as much as they surprised me? Share in the comment section below. We'll see you guys soon.